1970 New York Yankee baseball is on the air. In association with Hughes Sports Network, Yankee Baseball is brought to you with the best wishes of the Atlantic Richfield Company. Your Atlantic dealer keeps your car on the go with Red Ball service. Bill Rizzuto, Frank Messer, and Bob Gamere will bring you the play-by-play of this Yankee broadcast in just a moment.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bob Gamere, along with Bill Rizzuto and Frank Messer from Robert F. Kennedy Stadium in Washington, D.C. And this afternoon, it's the third game, a rubber game in this three-game series between the New York Yankees and the Washington Senators. And so far in this series, we've had a couple of pitchers' duels. The first game won by the Washington Senators by a score of 2-1, as Dick Bosman bested Steve Klein. And then in last night's ball game, the Yankees won it 3-0, as Stan Bonson was the winner over Jim Schellenbach. Last night's final score, 3-1, the Yankees winning it, getting 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning, and the Senators coming back with a home run by Bernie Allen in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He was the leadoff batter in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the home run chased Stan Bonson, but Lindy McDaniel came on to get the Senators 1-2-3 and end the ball game. So it's all even, 1 game apiece in this series. The Senators lead in the season series 7-5 over the New York Yankees, and they have the best advantage of any ball club in the American League up to this point over the New Yorkers. And we'll have the starting lineup for today's ball game in just a moment.
The Arctic tundra, 12 inches of vegetation covering frozen ground 1,000 feet deep. When Atlantic Richfield Company discovered oil on Alaska's North Slope, the place we call the Arco Circle, we found out if you disturb the tundra, you cause erosion. A tire track can cause a 50-foot gorge. We stopped driving our trucks across it and started experiments with 13 different kinds of grass seed, so that if erosion occurred, we'd be ready. The seeding has to be done by hand. The fertilizing has to be done by helicopters, and the grasses will have to be incredibly hardy to make it. But if they do, there will be a way to protect the delicate tundra forever. At Atlantic Richfield Company, we're doing this because we believe drilling for oil and conservation go together. We went all the way to Alaska to drill for oil so we can provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
Right now, the umpires are meeting at home plate with Ralph House of the Yankees and Ted Williams of the Washington Senators. They're exchanging the lineup cards. The lineup's being announced to the fans here in Robert F. Kennedy Stadium, and we'll give you the lineups as well. First of all, for the Yankees, Horace Clarke leads off, and he'll be playing at second base. Jerry Kenney bats second, and he'll be at third base. Bobby Murcer hits third in center field. Roy White, the cleanup man today, in left field, batting fourth. Danny Cater bats fifth, he'll be at third base. Thurman Munson is the catcher, batting sixth. Curt Blefary in right field hits seventh. Gene Michael, the shortstop, eighth. And on the mound and pitching for the Yankees will be Mel Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre has a record of 8 wins and 7 losses. His earned run average is 3.29, which is high for Mel. In fact, that's the highest it's been since the 1966 season when he lost 20 ball games. Stottlemyre with a record of 8 and 7 and an earned run average of 3.29. He's pitched in 145 innings, given up 137 hits. He has walked 50 and struck out 63. For the Washington Senators, Eddie Brinkman has moved up to the leadoff spot today, and he'll be playing shortstop. Lee Maye in right field bats second. Big Frank Howard hits third, and he'll be playing first base. Rick Reichardt in left field bats fourth. Bernie Allen, the second baseman, hits fifth. Aurelio Rodriguez, the third baseman, sixth. Paul Casanova, the catcher, bats seventh. Del Unser in center field bats eighth. And on the mound and pitching will be Jim Hannan, and batting ninth. Hannan from Jersey City, New Jersey, has a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. He has pitched 45 2/3 innings, given up 47 hits, 21 walks. He has struck out 26, and his earned run average 4.11. And now the Washington Senators take the field. While they do here on Yankee Baseball, we have the signal that it's time for station identification.
This is your Guy High Agents. Join me for your kind of music, weekdays, 3 to 7, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join Homer Merrill in the singing
Right here on Robert F. Kennedy Stadium as we wait for the rubber game of the three-game series, our national anthem. Another nice crowd here at Robert F. Kennedy Stadium. Ball clubs drew 16,000 for the ball game on Friday night. They had the biggest Saturday crowd in the history of baseball in Washington, not only in this stadium but also in Griffith Stadium, over 21,000 last night. And a very representative crowd right now. It looks in the vicinity of 19, maybe even 20,000 for this afternoon's game between the Yankees and the Washington Senators. This is it for the first half of the season. Actually, we're past the first half of the season. This will be the 85th game for the Yankees. And the total number in the season is 162. But traditionally, the All-Star break is mid-season, and a lot of the players, of course, look forward to it, not only playing in the All-Star game, but also getting away from baseball for 3 days, relaxing, and doing something a little bit differently. Jim Hannan on the mound and pitching. Wears those motorcycle-type glasses. Big, tall right-hander from Jersey City, New Jersey. Class of 1952 at St. Peter's Prep. Happens to be a classmate of mine, and he's on the mound pitching for the Washington Senators today against the New York Yankees. Hannan with a record of 3 wins and 3 losses. Jim also went to Notre Dame University, where he graduated, and is a stockbroker in the off-season. We used to say a successful stockbroker for everyone in baseball who was in the stock market business. But I'm not sure we can say that anymore. Maybe some of them would be better off in another business than the stockbrokerage business at this time. But at any rate, that's what Jim is in the off-season. And actually, I believe he deals in the mutual funds more than anything. Jim Hannan on the mound with a record of 3 wins and 3 losses, and Horace Clarke will be the first man to face him. Horace with a batting average of .246. He has 4 homers, 1 triple, and 12 doubles. Clarke, the batter. That was 1956 that Jim Hannan got out of high school, and not 1952. He started in 52. Horace Clarke, the batter. The first pitch is high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. And Larry Knapp is wasting no time in doing his homework. Kicks away something from in front of home plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Horace Clarke leading it off in the rubber game of the series. Hannan into the windup. Here's the pitch. In there for the called strike. 1 is 1-1. Larry Knapp, the umpire behind home plate. John Rice at first. Marty Springstead at second. Larry Bonnet at third. Hannan wastes no time. Fires away. Swinging a little pop-up down the third baseline. Behind third. May drop in. Maybe fair. It goes foul. Just hits foul by about a yard. Back in the grass in left field. Rodriguez was going back. Brinkman was coming over. And Reichardt coming in from left field. But nobody got close to that. And it was just a question of fair or foul, and a drop foul. 1-2 the count on Horace. Hannan delivers. Clarke swings, fouls it up here. Just missed the broadcasting booth. Down by about a foot. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swinging a foul ball back to the screen. It's 1-2. Did they hear that ball hit, Sandy? 1-2 the count. We haven't had a ball in a long time in the broadcasting booth, and that was almost it. Actually, it's right down below us on a little catwalk. Here's the windup in the pitch. Clarke swings a little dribbler, first base side, rolling, it goes foul, and it's kicked by Casanova. And Clarke will have to come back and try again, so he missed a base hit down the left field line. He missed one on that little roller. There was no way they were going to get him. But he still has one swing remaining. One and two to Horace Clarke, the leadoff batter, on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Washington. Temperature in the 80s, big crowd on hand. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bouncer down the first base line. It's a fair ball just past Frank Howard, rolling down in the corner. Clarke's going to try for two. May up with the ball. Lobs it into Bernie Allen. It's the double for Horace Clarke. So Horace was flirting with the foul line all the time that he was up there, and he finally got a break. Ball just fair and just out of the reach of Frank Howard. It's the double. A double for Clarke, and that brings up Jerry Kenney. Kenny's batting average is .225. He's second in the American League with triples. He has 6. He has 7 doubles and 3 home runs. 6 triples for Kenney. The leader is Cesar Tovar with 8. The stretch takes to second base, and Clarke gets back. Yankees looking to get the jump here in the top of the first inning. Horace Clarke has led off with a double. Rodriguez in on the grass at third base. Howard even with the bag at first. Second baseman and shortstop playing in normal depth. Here's the pitch. In there for the called strike. Bent the curve, in and over, no balls and 1 strike. Kenney, after a slow start, has certainly come around with the bat. Although his average only indicates .225. It's been a vastly improved .225. Off second base, Horace Clarke, nobody out. Jim Hannan goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. In there for the called strike as it dipped in. That was the same pitch. Curveball with a good drop, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Kenny's out of the batter's box, going for a walk, picks up a handful of dirt. No balls and 2 strikes. Jerry's still way out of the batter's box. Might have been a bit disturbed on the last call. And he might be regrouping his thoughts. He knows he only has 1 swing left. All right, Kenney gets back in the box. Digs in. Deep in the batter's box. Bobby Murcer on deck. Jim Hannan gets the side from Casanova, goes to the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bouncer down the first base line. Foul. Elston Howard bobbles the ball over in the coach's box. No balls and 2 strikes. Light breeze today, blowing out towards right field. Breeze plays very little effect on the ball game. Plays very little part in the game because we're actually down below ground level. And the stands, the upper deck, goes all the way around this ballpark in a circle. 0-2 the count to Kenney. Here's the pitch. Fastball high, it's 1-2. Well, Hannan's been keeping the ball high on Kenney. I don't know whether it's intentional or not. Perhaps the Senators feel that Kenney likes those low pitches. And we have seen him golf quite a few line drives this year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Bounce to the shortstop. Clarke going to third. Brinkman throws to first in time for the out. Brinkman looked over to third but made the play to first. So fine speed by Horace Clarke. That's why you say when they make it on a play like that, fine speed. And if they throw over there and get the guy out, you say you should to God. You very rarely see a man go to third base with the ball hit on the left side of the infield as we look out. But Clarke went and he made it, so it's a good play. One out. Clarke over at third. Could be a big play, too. Bobby Murcer, the batter. They're playing deep on the right side. If it's a ground ball, Clarke will probably score. The pitch is low. Ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. No score in the game, but the Yankees have a runner on third with 1 out. 1 ball and no strikes. Hannan into the windup. Here's the pitch. Murcer hits the ground ball in the hole between first and second. Through in the right field for a base hit. Horace Clarke is in to score. The ball picked up by Lee Maye. Lobs it into Eddie Brinkman at second, and the Yankees lead it 1-0. An RBI for Bobby Murcer. For Bobby, his 48th of the season. Horace Clarke is in to score. Horace scores his 43rd run for the Yankees, and it's 1-0. Roy White, the batter. White with a batting average of .320. 12 home runs. Throw to first, no dice. A reminder that this broadcast is authorized under rights granted by the Yankees solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions and accounts without the express consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. Hannan tries another throw over to first that Frank Howard grabs, and then trying to get the ball out of his glove, he bobbles it. In the meantime, Bobby Murcer taking the opportunity to tie his shoelace. Yankees won. Top half of the first inning. Bobby Murcer with the lead, the stretch, the pitch to White. On the corner for the call. Strike, it's 0-1. Last night, the Yankees won it 3-1, but we had no scoring until the top of the 8th. Night before, it was 2-1 Washington. Throw to first, and Murcer gets back. Ralph House feels a lot better about the Yankees starting pitching after the last 2 games. The fine performance of Steve Klein and an equally fine performance of Stan Bonson. Here's the pitch. Swing and a drive hit out to center field. Del Unser in his tracks, backing up a little bit. Now he stops, waits, makes the catch, throws on in the second, and Bobby Murcer gets back to first. 2 outs. Two outs, it'll bring up Danny Cater. Cater batting .303, and he's been right around that 300 mark now for the past month. Most of the time a little above it, once in a while a little below it. Danny with 4 homers, 3 triples, and 19 doubles. Has had an outstanding first half of the season for the New York Yankees. Bobby Murcer on first with 2 outs. Throw to first, no dice. Hannan goes to the stretch. There goes Murcer, the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to third base. Rodriguez digs it out. The long throw is high, but Frank Howard's there to make the catch. Side retired for the Yankees in the first inning. The Yankees get a run on 2 hits. There were no errors with a man left. At the end of a half inning, it's the Yankees 1, the Senators coming up.
Are you game for a quiz? Then listen carefully, because the question won't be repeated. What does ARCO stand for? A-R-C-O. Here are a few hints. Hint 1. Many of you recently received a credit card with the name ARCO on top. It replaced your Atlantic card. Hint 2. The ARCO card is honored by Hertz, Ramada, and Treadway Inns, Hyatt House Hotels, Hyatt Lodges, Travel Lodge Motels, Friendship Inns, Emmons Walker Inns Incorporated, and Superior Motel. Time's up. Anyone who figured out that ARCO stands for the petroleum products of the Atlantic Richfield Company gets an A. You see, when the Atlantic Richfield Company was formed, it made sense to have one national credit card good at thousands of service stations coast to coast. The name selected for the card was ARCO. And if you'd like to carry one, applications are waiting for you at all Atlantic stations. If there are no more questions, then, class is dismissed.
Bottom half of the first inning, the Senators will send up Eddie Brinkman, Lee Maye, and Frank Howard against the right-handed Mel Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre with a record of 8 wins and 7 losses, and he'd love to make it 9 before the All-Star break. Mel, of course, pitching today. Ralph House also figures that if he's used in the All-Star game, it would be more or less the same as throwing on the second day after it starts. The All-Star game Tuesday night. Normally when a pitcher starts, Jim Turner and Ralph House, they like that pitcher to throw a little bit on the second day after his start. In fact, Fritz Peterson was used in relief at a game in Cleveland in such a situation. He had pitched on a Friday night, and that Sunday he came in and he threw a couple of innings in relief. Throw goes down to second base, and we're all set for the bottom half of the first inning. Stottlemyre on the mound. 1965, he was 20-9. Then he was 12-20, 15-15, 21-12 in 68, 20-14 last year, and 8-7 so far this year for the Yankees. Eddie Brinkman, the batter. The windup and the pitch. Brinkman takes low for ball one. Brinkman with a batting average of .279. Yankees 1, Senators nothing. The windup and the pitch. Brinkman swings, line drive, hit out over short. It's in there for a base hit. Bobby Murcer over at left center. As the ball gets by him, Roy White backing up. Here's the throw to second. Here's Brinkman. He slides and he's in there. Scored as a double for Eddie Brinkman. The ball took a bad hop on Bobby Murcer. But Murcer also overran the ball, coming over towards left field. And now Roy White is starting to come in towards the infield. And we'll have to wait and see what Roy wants. White may be looking for his sunglasses. There's no way anybody could catch that ball on the fly. It was an ordinary line drive single, and Murcer tried to cut it off and went by the ball also taking a bad hop behind him. White now, he has sunglasses on that cap. I'm not sure why Roy White is coming in. He just dropped his cap, his glasses, and his glove, perhaps his contact lenses. At any rate, he's down in the Yankee dugout, and we have no way of looking into the dugout from where we are. He'll be going back out there because he left his glove and cap out. And now Roy White comes out of the Yankee dugout. So the Senators open up the game just as the Yankees did in the top of the first with a double. And it brings up Lee Maye. Lee Maye, the right fielder, with a batting average of .274. Roy White back out in left field, and we're set to go. They play Lee Maye straight away. Eddie Brinkman off second, nobody out. Stottlemyre stretches and delivers. Swing and a drive, hit down the left field line, a slicing foul back into the lower deck. No balls and one strike. Red Sox got 2 runs in the first inning against Cleveland. Big doubleheader today in the American League, Baltimore and Detroit. Big one for the Tigers, perhaps bigger for them than for Baltimore. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. May takes inside. It's 1-1. Baltimore leading the Tigers by 6 games. And after the All-Star game, in fact, after today, the two clubs only have 5 games remaining. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stottlemyre goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swinging a drive hit out to left center field. Roy White going back. Still going back. He's got a beat on it. He makes the catch. The tag by Brinkman. He's on his way to third. White throw to third. Not in time. Brinkman goes in standing up. Fly by Lee Maye. No sacrifice fly. You only get credit for a sacrifice fly when the runner scores from third. But it has the effect of a sacrifice. Eddie Brinkman on third, and Frank Howard the batter. Frank Howard batting .279, 24 home runs, 8 doubles, the windup. Here's the pitch. Howard swings, a bouncer, hit in the hole to the third and short. It's in the left field for a base hit. Brinkman in the score. Roy White up with the ball, throws on into second baseman Horace Clarke, and Frank Howard has a solid base hit, and it's a tie ball game. For Frank Howard, RBI number 66. Tied up at 1-1, and here's Rick Reichardt, the left fielder. Frank Howard is hitting everything in sight. He has streaks, and right now he's on a tear. Last night he backed away from the pitch and hit the bat, went for a base hit to right field. Had a home run in the first game of the series, and he drilled that one right through the infield. Reichardt batting .269. He has 12 homers. Big, strong right-handed batter. The pitch to Rick, low, ball one. Rick Reichardt from the University of Wisconsin came from California along with third baseman Rodriguez in exchange for Ken McMullen. That was back on April the 26th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul and out of play. And a nice catch up in the upper deck. Gentleman in Bermuda shorts. Blue shirt and as wild a pair of plaid shorts as you'll ever see. And he took a nice bow after coming up with it. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Here's the stretch. Howard with the lead. The pitch to Reichardt. Check swing. It's called a ball. 2-1. Pitch up a little high. Yankees won. The Senators won. Bottom of the first. Each team with 2 hits. Teams have scored in similar ways. The leadoff man has had a double. The second man up has moved in the third, and the third man up has had a base hit. The RBIs to Murcer and Howard. Stottlemyre stretches. Here's the pitch. Reichardt swings and misses. 2-2. Swung over the sinker. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock, a big doubleheader. It'll be the last time the Oakland A's will be in the Yankee Stadium this year. Doubleheader Thursday, night game Friday. Here's the pitch. Did it hit him? It did. Oh, did it ever? Right on the left hand. And he's holding it. It hit him somewhere from the left elbow down. And Reichardt is really in pain. Reichardt holding it. Got it right somewhere in that left forearm. Might have been right on the hand. He is really in pain. Reichardt down the first baseline. Washington trainer looking at it. Ted Williams out of the dugout. Frank Howard has already gone down to second base as Reichardt is hit by the pitch. But it's questionable whether he'll be able to stay in the lineup. Senators have already lost 1 outfielder this week, Ed Stroud. Got hit in the jaw with a pitch. And he got 7 stitches. He's on the disabled list. Reichardt's heading over for the Washington dugout. He's not in as much pain now as he was a moment ago. And in the meantime, the ground crew has come out, and they're going to fix out the mound. Apparently, Mel Stottlemyre had some objection to the mound, and they just spread some speedy drying substance around that mound. Might have been a little wet and a little cakey out there. So Reichardt has gone into the dugout. We don't know whether he'll be coming back out or whether there'll be a pinch runner. We'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, the ground crew is doing a job on the mound. When players resume, the Senators will have first and second, 1 out in the tie game at 1-1. And Bernie Allen will be the batter. Umpire Larry Knapp is directing the operations out on the mound. Mel Stottlemyre standing off the mound. Still nobody out of the Senators' dugout. And Rick Reichardt comes out, so he'll be staying in the ball game. Nellie Fox, the first base coach, and Reichardt right on the bag. And we're all set to go. Bernie Allen steps in. After 2 at Cleveland, the Red Sox 2 and the Indians nothing. Bernie Allen hit a home run in the 9th inning last night off Stan Bonson. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Outside for ball 1. Allen batting .257, and the home run was his 7th. One ball, no strikes. Stottlemyre goes to the belt infield and double play depth. Here's the pitch. A little bit outside, just missed the corner with the curveball. 2-0. Stottlemyre, to this point, doesn't appear to have that fast sinker going. 2 balls and no strikes. Senators with a run in, first and second. 1 out. Mel goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing, line drive, base hit to right field. Frank Howard down to third base. Up with the ball, Blefary. Howard's going to try and score. Bleffery's throw is up the line, and the runners move up to second and third. He threw it high and up the line, and the runners get an extra base, and the Senators lead it 2-1. So the Senators lead it 2-1 here in the bottom of the first. A double, 2 singles, a hit batsman, and a long fly. Aurelio Rodriguez will be the batter. Reichardt on third, Bernie Allen on second. That's a single and RBI, and he went to second on the throw. Reichardt went to third on the throw. And an intentional walk for Aurelio Rodriguez coming up. There's ball 1. That'll bring up Paul Casanova. Casanova's up his average to 292. Ball 2 outside. Yankees, of course, hoping to set up the double play. And in the meantime, we'll have some activity out in the Yankee bullpen. Ron Klimkowski is up to throw. Of course, both managers will not hesitate to go to the bullpen today since it is the All-Star break. And there's ball 4. Bases loaded for the Senators, 1 out, and they'll bring up Paul Casanova. Casanova with a batting average of 292. He has 18 RBIs, 3 homers, 1 triple, and 11 doubles. Yankees hoping for the double play to get them out of what could be a big inning. It's 2-1 Washington, bottom of the first, bases loaded and 1 out. Stottlemyre looks over to third. The windup and the pitch. Outside, ball 1. One and 0 to Paul Casanova. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Rick Reichardt on third, Bernie Allen on second, Aurelio Rodriguez on first. 1 out. Senators leading 2-1, bottom half of the first inning. Stottlemyre has the sign from Munson. Count is 1-1. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up, foul territory, but Cater has a good play on it. He's over under it, and he makes the catch one-handed. So a foul pop-up as Casanova goes down. The big out for the Yankees. 2 outs. It'll bring up the number 8 hitter in the lineup, Del Unser. Unser was the leadoff man last night. Del has a batting average of 217, 4 homers, 1 triple, and no double. Mel Stottlemyre, not yet on the rubber. Checks around at the outfield. Outfield playing him, actually, as if he were a right-handed batter instead of a left-handed batter. Roy White almost over to the line in left field, and Bobby Murcer well over. 2 outs. Here's the windup and the pitch. Unser takes strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. 2-1 Washington, bottom of the first. They've got the bases loaded and now 2 outs. Mel Stottlemyre and the Yankees would be delighted to get out of here with just the 2 runs in this first inning. Here's the pitch. Strike 2, it's called 0-2, and Mel has Unser right in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. A double by Brinkman, moved to third on a fly ball by Lee Maye. A single by Frank Howard, made it 1. Reichardt was hit by a pitch. Bernie Allen single made it 2-1. The runners went to second and third on the throw. An intentional walk to Rodriguez. Pop out by Casanova. And Mel needs 1 more strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. Low and outside, 1-2. This crowd looks to be every bit as big as last night, 21,000. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The windup and the pitch. inside, and it's ball 2, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The base is loaded. The Senators leading 2-1 in an exciting first inning. Reichardt, Allen, and Rodriguez ready to go. Long delay here as Munson flashing the sign. Here's the windup. And the pitch. Unser swings. Line drive into left field. Roy White coming on. He can't get it at the base hit. In the scores Reichardt. Here comes Allen. Here comes White's throw. It's up the line. He scores. The ball gets away from Munson, and the runners hold at second and third. And the Senators lead it 4-1. The Senators lead 4-1 in the bottom of the first inning, and Ralph Howe coming out of the dugout. Munson out on the mound talking with Stottlemyre. Jim Hannan, the pitcher, is due up with 2 outs. Well, we said how the Yankees were playing him as if he were a right-handed batter. Roy White almost over to the left field line, but he laid that one right inside the line, a line drive. They definitely had to play at the plate with a good throw. However, the throw was out away from home plate, so the 2 runs scored. Ball got away just a little bit, and the runners go to second and third on the throw. There's no error. So the Senators have been picking up those extra bases here in the bottom of the first. Runners on second and third, 2 outs, and Jim Hannan steps in. Hannan has a batting average of .222. Only been up 9 times. He has 2 hits. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Out ahead of that one. No balls and 1 strike. Senators leading 4-1, bottom half of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive hit the left, right at Roy White. He's waiting. He makes the catch and the side's retired. For the Senators, 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left at the end of 1. Washington 4 and the Yankees 1.
Here's a great group called the Main Ingredient. They were discovered in the Schaefer Talent Hunt.
Schaefer is the one thing to have when you're having more than one. Schaefer treasure doesn't fade even when your thirst is gone. The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Is the one thing to have when you're happy, more than gold. Is the one thing Schaefer is.
Right now on New York Yankee baseball, let's take a break for station identification.
This is Harry Downey bringing the Upside Downey game your way weekdays 10 to 3 here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81 WGY's Schenectady.
On we go here at Robert F. Kennedy Stadium to the top half of the second inning, and Thurman Munson will be leading it off. 4-1, Washington leads it. The Yankees getting a run in the top of the first, and the Senators coming back with 4 runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Munson with a batting average of .267, 3 homers, 2 triples, and 14 doubles.
Batting 6, the catcher, number 15, Thurman Munson.
Munson digs in against Jim Hannan. Right-handed delivers. Munson takes. Strike 1 is called with the curveball. No balls and 1 strike. 4-1 Washington. Top half of the second inning. Go after having pitchers duels for the first 2 ball games of this series. This one appears to be opening up. Hannan into the windup. The pitch to Thurman Munson. Check swing. A little ground ball hit out towards short. Rodriguez up quickly. Throw to first in time, and there's 1 out. Rodriguez, the third baseman, cutting that one off, and he had to make the play. There was no way Brinkman could get third and Munson to lose one down. One out and Curt Blefary. Blefary hitting the All-Star break with an average of 197, 4 homers, and 3 doubles. The windup by Hannan and the pitch outside to Curt Blefary, ball 1. And joining us on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, right off the Big Bird, is Phil Rizzuto.
Thank you, Bob.
The pitch is high, 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, as we were flying in, was at the Old Timers game at Shea last night. Beautiful seeing the old buddies again. But as I was flying in, I had a hunch not to come here. I saw all these bats, and I look and see the score 4-1, and I see the Senators are using their bats as well.
They are, yeah. Swing and a miss by Blefary, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Yankees, of course, would love to win it, as will the Senators. Makes those 3 days a little bit more enjoyable if you can remember a win that last game. Right now, it's the Senators leading 4-1. Jim Hannan on the mound with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Blefary the batter, 1 out, nobody on, second inning. Here it comes. Here it goes, ground ball between first and second. Howard over to get it, flips to Hannan. They've got Blefary. 2 out. And it'll bring up the Yankee shortstop, Gene Michael. Michael batting .227. Has 8 doubles, 1 triple, and 2 home runs. So Hannan having an easy second inning right now with 2 ground balls. First inning, the Yankees scored on a Clarke double, a Murcer single. The Senators batted around and scored 4 times. Hannan into the windup. Michael swings and fouls it at the plate, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. No balls and 1 strike. The count to Gene Michael. And the pitch outside. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Yankees will be taking on the Western Division. They'll be coming into the Yankee Stadium for their last appearance of the season, beginning on Thursday with Oakland. Pitch is outside. Oakland has a doubleheader Thursday beginning at 1 o'clock, a night game Friday, and an afternoon game Saturday, and then the California Angels come in for 2 games that day next Sunday, and a night game on Monday. Here's the pitch. Outside and high, it's 3-1. So Jim Hannan in the hole now to Gene Michael. 3 balls and 1 strike. Mel Stottlemyre, next scheduled batter for the Yankees. He is not on deck. There's nobody on deck right now. Here's the pitch. High for ball 4. So Gene Michael draws a walk on the 3-1 pitch. And we'll wait and see if Stottlemyre comes out of the Yankee dugout. Nobody warming up out in the bullpen. And Mel's coming up. 4-1 Washington, top of the second. Stottlemyre hit a home run in Baltimore the last game he pitched. Mel's had 10 base hits and 47 at-bats. He's hitting .213. Red Sox and the Indians have played 3, and it's still 2-0 Boston. Stottlemyre up there. Here's the pitch. He swings it. It's a high Baltimore chop to third. Rodriguez has it. The throw to first, just in time, and the side's retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left at the end of an inning and a half here in Washington. The Senators 4 and the Yankees 1.
Friends, Romans, and Kelly men, lend me your ears. Now you can save up to 50% during Kelly's semi-annual sale. It's an event worth waiting for. Now you have the chance to save 20 to 50% during Kelly's semi-annual sale. This is not just a pick selection, but Kelly Clothes' complete summer lineup of famous brand suits, sport coats, and slacks. This is the time to highlight your summer wardrobe and save 20 to 50% during Kelly's semi-annual sale of their complete stock. Come to Kelly Clothes for outstanding savings on men's suits, sport coats, and slacks during their big semi-annual sale that's on now. Use your Master Charge, AmeriCard, or Kelly Charge. Shop Kelly Clothes, 621 River Street in Troy. Summer hours, Monday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 5:30. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Closed Saturdays.
All right, the bottom half of the second inning. And Eddie Brinkman, the top of the order for the Senators. They batted around and scored 4 runs in the first inning. Eddie Brinkman led it off with a double. Stottlemyre on the mound. Mel is 1-8, lost 7. Right now he's trailing 4-1. Got to try and keep the Senators close and hope the Yankees can come back off Jim Hannan. The windup and the pitch. Curve in there, strike one. That was a beautiful pitch. No balls and 1 strike. Curve caught the outside corner just above the knees, and it's 0-1 to Eddie Brinkman. Brinkman into the windup and the pitch. Ground ball hitting the hole between third and short. Nice backhand by Michael. The long throw to first. Up the line, and Cater makes a nice catch, but he's safe at first. The base hit for Eddie Brinkman. So Brinkman, with good speed, legs it out. And Cater made a fine stop, and that ball was headed for the Washington dugout. Lee Maye, the batter. Maye flied out to left field his first time up. The 5th hit for Washington, the stretch and the pitch. Low ball 1. And we're going to have some activity again out in the Yankee bullpen. Ron Klimkowski and Steve Hamilton warming up. It's a bit early for Hamilton, but Ralph Howe figures he can use all his relievers today. Earl Weaver didn't pick any relief pitchers for the All-Star game. Another throw to first, no dice. 1 ball and no strikes. Senators 4, Yankees 1. Throw to first, no dice. The stretch and the pitch. Maye takes low, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Senators 4, Yankees 1. Bottom of the second, nobody out, and Eddie Brinkman on at first. Stottlemyre has the sign, goes to the belt. Here's the pitch, swinging a high fly ball back on the outfield grass. Horace Clarke is back. He's under it. He's got it, and there's 1 out. 1 out, and a little electricity goes through this big crowd as Frank Howard steps in. Howard got a base hit between third and short to drive in the first run for Washington, tied up the game of the first inning. Did you ever see this bigger crowd outside of a presidential opener, Phil?
Nope, not here at D.C. Stadium.
With the lead is Eddie Brinkman. Stottlemyre's pitch. Howard swings and misses strike 1, and what a cut he took. No balls and 1 strike. Last night they had the biggest Saturday crowd in the history of Washington, over 21,000. And today, this crowd is built out to what looks to be at least 25,000. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch, the pitch, inside, 1-1. Senators leading 4-1. They have Eddie Brinkman on first and 1 out. Lee Maye has made 2 out of the 4 Senator outs in this ballgame. The 1-1 stretch and the pitch. Howard swings and fouls it out of play in the lower deck, first base side, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Don't forget, bat day at Yankee Stadium next Sunday, a doubleheader with the California Angels. Last bat day, 65,000 for a single game with the White Sox. The Angels, the number 2 team in the West, and a doubleheader plus bat day. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. The stretch by Stottlemyre. Here's the pitch. Howard takes just outside. It's 2-2. Didn't miss by too much. Frank with 24 home runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Howard tied for the American League lead in homers. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bounce of foul off home plate and right behind the plate. Count holds at 2-2. Harmon Killebrew and Frank Howard. They each have 24. Klimkowski and Hamilton still throwing out in the Yankee bullpen. Senators leading 4-1 bottom of the second. Stottlemyre goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bounce of foul outside of third down the left field line. Ball ricocheting off the box seats and back out onto the field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Stottlemyre goes to the belt. Checks Brinkman. Here's the pitch. Howard takes low, and it's 3-2. So the count is full on Frank Howard. Howard having a great year for the Senators. His average now over the 280 mark. We mentioned those 24 home runs. And he has 8 doubles. Brinkman on at first with 1 out. Stottlemyre goes to the belt. Here goes Brinkman. The pitch inside for ball 4. So big Frank Howard jogs on down to first base. That's the second walk Stottlemyre has given up. The first one was an intentional walk. Rick Reichardt was hit by a pitch on his left hand his first time up. Reichardt with a brown bat. Batting average of 269, 12 home runs. Mel Stottlemyre goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul to the screen, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. The Senators lead it by a score of 4-1. Bottom half of the second inning. Thurman Munson calls time and he goes out to the mound to speak with Mel Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre still being bothered a little bit by that mound. We mentioned they had the ground crew out there in the first inning. Mel every now and then will still fool around with it. No balls and 1 strike to count. Munson has his mask off out there on the mound, speaking with Stottlemyre. Reichardt now steps out of the batter's box. He has something in his eye. No balls and 1 strike. Reichardt puts his glasses back on, and we're ready to go. 4-1 Washington, second inning. Brinkman off second, Howard off first. The 0-1 pitch, Reichardt swings, and it's a high pop-up foul and out of play behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Stottlemyre at the point now where he knows another base hit, and he could be out of the ball game. Yankee bullpen is ready. Klimkowski and Hamilton, they've had plenty of time to warm up. In fact, Hamilton isn't throwing the ball. He's just looking in. Next batter up is left-handed batter, Bernie Allen. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Reichardt takes outside with the curveball. It's 1-2. Mel has had a struggle all the way since Eddie Brinkman led off with a double. 1-2 the count. Stottlemyre goes to the belt. The pitch. Reichardt swings and pops it out of play. Foul. First base side. Ball floating down in the lower deck. And a fine catch by one of the fans. That one a high pop-up. Fan in a box seat made a nice catch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stottlemyre wide to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bounce to the third. It's picked up foul by Kenney. Had a double play. Just stepped on the bag and threw to first, but it's a foul ball. So Reichardt comes back to try again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back to second goes Brinkman. Back to first, Frank Howard. Senators 4, Yankees 1 in the bottom of the second. Stottlemyre comes set at the belt. He delivers a line drive on one hop past Jerry Kenney in the left field for a base hit. Brinkman around third. Roy White up at the ball. Throws on in the third. Frank Howard holds at second. It's 5-1. And Ralph Houck is out of the dugout. And that'll probably be all for Mel Stottlemyre. Scored a base hit. Hard liner on one hop past Jerry Kenney's glove. The Senators lead it by a score of 5-1. As we mentioned, the left-handed batting Bernie Allen is on deck. Still has been no signal to the bullpen. And now there's the signal, and Steve Hamilton will be coming in for the Yankees. So Mel Stottlemyre goes an inning and a third. He gives up 5 runs. 2 runners are his responsibility. 6 hits. He walked 2, and he strikes out nobody. And Mel Stottlemyre now heads for the dugout.
You know, Bob, that was one of the main topics of conversation at the old-timers game at Shea last night. Fellas like Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Casey Stengel saying, what's wrong with Stottlemyre? It's impossible for him not to have, twice as good a record as he has now. Does he have a sore arm? And I said, well, he did have a sore arm in spring training and early in the year, but he had not complained of it. And yet they said, well, he's the kind of guy that would not complain. But from the times they've had a chance to watch Mel on TV, and you know how interested old-timers are, they watch their former teammates, they said his sinker didn't appear to be breaking as much. And Yogi Berra, who knows, I guess, as much about Stottlemyre as anybody, made the same remark. So it is a mystery because maybe with the rest now for the All-Star game and Stottlemyre coming along with a second-half spurt, the Yankees could get right back in the thick of things.
From the time I've seen him this year, the one night that he appeared to have it, really have it, was in Chicago. Remember that hot, steamy night? And he was the master all the way. But he doesn't seem that fast either.
That's true. They haven't been typical Stottlemyre games. Well, we'll wait and see. We take a look at the other scores as Steve Hamilton comes on. The first game for Twin Bill, the Red Sox lead Cleveland 2-0 at the end of 3.5. It's Culp against Dunning. Minnesota at California will be a later start. There's a big doubleheader between the league-leading Orioles and the second-place Tigers out in Detroit. And they will start later on. Chicago at Kansas City for a later start. In another doubleheader in the American League, Milwaukee at Oakland. So there'll be a lot of baseball being brought to you later on in the afternoon. In the National League, Montreal playing the Mets in New York. Montreal failed to score in the top of the first. The Mets batting. It's Renko against Sadecki. Philadelphia, Chicago. It'll be Short against Holtzman. Cincinnati at Atlanta. Simpson against Nash. Pittsburgh at St. Louis. Blass against Torres. San Francisco at Houston. And L.A. at San Diego. Later on, we're ready to go. Once again, here's Bob.
All right, Phil, it's 5-1 Washington. Steve Hamilton has to now try and keep it close. Bernie Allen, the batter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul ball to the screen, strike 1. Allen got a base hit and drove in a run in the first inning. The Senators got 4 in the first. They've scored 1 here in the second. They have runners on first and second and 1 out. Hamilton stretches. Here's the pitch. Swing and a bouncer out between first and second. Cater misses it. Clarke up over to Michael for the force play. Cater tried to cut it off and just didn't get it, but Horace Clarke was right behind him and made the force play at second base. Nice play by Horace.
And it was a heads-up play by Horace because Horace actually was going to go to first base. But Steve Hamilton, you could see him kick the dirt. He had forgotten to break to first. And when Horace saw that Steve couldn't get there in time, he quickly wheeled and threw to Michael. So they did get 1 out.
2 outs and Aurelio Rodriguez the batter. Runners on first and third. Rodriguez drew an intentional walk his first time up. Steve Hamilton has a record of 4 wins and 3 losses. An excellent earned run average, 2.12. And he's had 3 saves. And of course, he features that volley floater. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Rodriguez hits the ground ball to third. Kenney has it. He's going to throw to second just in time to Horace Clarke. Bernie Allen wasn't exactly steaming into second base either. So the Yankees get the fourth play. Senators get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. At the end of 2, it's Washington 5 and the Yankees 1.
Well, Danny Cater will have his day on July 16th when the Yankees will give out colored pictured postcards of Danny Cater. And that's the same day that Oakland is in for a big twin bill at Yankee Stadium. That's July 16th, and the Oakland A's, who are just about getting ready to move. And there was a big rumor in New York last night, really spreading around, about Billy Martin possibly being named manager of the Oakland team, and that will keep Mr. Finley's record intact of firing his manager in midseason just about every year. Of course, Billy denied it, and Joe DiMaggio was right there when I happened to mention it. Joe had that big grin on his face, but of course wouldn't say a word. And Billy said, I'll tell you one thing. You know how Martin is. He says, if he doesn't name me manager, he's crazy. That's just what Martin said, but nobody would say yes or no, no comment, but it's all over the news up there. So anyway, when we see Oakland at New York, it's quite possible that they might have a new manager, and it could be Billy the Kid Martin.
Well, if they were going to name Billy, that would be the time to do it, right? Thursday in New York?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right here.
I was just going to say, I don't know whether I would enjoy working for Mr. Finley or not. One thing, you'd have to have your bag packed and be ready to check out at all times.
Well, he gives a lot of people a chance to manage, anyhow.
That's true. That's true.
5-1 the score. The Senators lead it. And the Yankees have come back a lot in this first half of the season, and they'll have to do it now. Horace Clarke to batter. Look where Rodriguez is. He's way off from the line at third. Here's the pitch. Horace takes high for ball 1. Clarke doubled to start the ball game. He doubled right inside first after just missing with a fly ball to left. Look at Rodriguez. He's got to be close to 10 yards inside third. The pitch in there for the called strike, and it's 1-1. Now, Horace has got to be tempted, Phil, here.
No doubt about it. He can do it.
Here's the windup and the pitch. Clarke takes a curve inside, and it's 2-1. Hannan has allowed 2 hits, both in the first inning. Clarke doubled. Went to third when Kenney grounded out, and Bobby Murcer singled him in. Here it comes. There it goes. Line drive over short for a base hit into left field for Horace Clarke. Reichardt up with the ball. Throws on in to Eddie Brinkman. Relays it to Bernie Allen, and Horace Clarke is 2 for 2 with a base hit. All right, here's Jerry Kenney, who grounded out to shortstop his first time up. The Yankees would like to do something early off Hannan because they know that Darrell Knowles can be tough in the late innings. Hannan has started 5 games and has completed none. 4.11 earned run average at a record of 3-3 has been used mostly in relief. Swing and a miss, strike 1. I don't know whether he foul-tipped it or not, but Casanova did not get that ball right in the glove.
No, what happened was as Kenney swung around with the bat, he hit Casanova. See him right on the mask. He was lucky. You know, the swing of the bat all the way around. Jerry lets go of it. And he might even check the bat. He hit the mask so hard, he's going in to change it, I believe.
If he hits it on the forward swing, it's interference.
Right.
But he hit it on the backswing.
Right. I tell you, Casanova was lucky. Who did we see get hit like that besides Jay Gibbs on our team? Got hit right on the back of his head as he leaned forward. A batter swung around and knocked him down. And Jay Gibbs got hit on the hand, I believe, and had got himself a broken thumb or hand, was out for quite a while.
All right, Kenney digs back in. 5-1 Washington. Jim Hannan brings it down. He delivers. In there for the called strike. It's 0-2. He's had Kenney's number so far today. Phil, in the first time up, he got Kenney 0-2. Jerry walked all around the batter's box, walked out as he's doing right now, and then grounded out to shortstop. So he's been sneaking him in on Jerry.
It's sure easy to see when Jerry is not satisfied with the call.
0-2. Horace Clarke with a good lead. Here's the pitch. Swinging a hot shot. What is it? Foul! It's ruled foul past Frank Howard and Kenney. is pointing to where he thinks the ball went over the bag. John Wright waited, got out of the way, and then made the call, and that hurt the Yanks.
Well, I want to tell you something. That was very, very close. A lot of times, as you say, Bob, when an umpire is trying to get out of the way of the ball, he loses sight of the ball for that fraction of a second, which is so important.
Pretty hard to tell anyhow, I'll tell you. From what I've been able to see, it's like 6 up, a half a dozen down, and wave one way or the other, but when you do it, make it emphatic. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swing, a hot shot for second. Allen on one hop to Brinkman high. He's got it for one. The throw to first, double play. Oh, how important was that one now? Instead of second and third and nobody out there, 2 outs and nobody on. 1 in. Right now in Yankee baseball, let's pause for station identification.
This is Steve Fitz, your contact host. Call us weeknights from 8 to midnight here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81 WGY Schenectady.
Two outs and Bobby Murcer the batter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up out of play, strike one. Kenney hit a line drive on the nose, took one bounce. Allen threw to Brinkman way high, and a little bit higher, and the Yankees would have been in business. But Brinkman caught it, kept his foot on the bag, and made the relay to first. Bouncer up the middle by Murcer. It's going through for a base hit to center field. And Bobby Murcer is 2 for 2. So the Yankees have had 2 hits out of 3 batters here in the third inning. But they just have a man on and 2 out. Yankees have had 4 hits. Clarke has had half of them, and Mercer's had half of them. Here's Roy White. White flied out to center field his first time up. Roy is 0 for 1. His average is now dropped below 320. Still not a bad spot at the All-Star break. Hannan stretches. And the pitch. Roy takes high for ball 1. 5-1 Washington, top of the third. Hannan stretches. And the pitch. White swings, hits the line drive over, short. Brinkman grabs it, goes back, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Eddie Brinkman. Stayed with it all the way, and it was not a solid line drive. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a man left after 2.5. It's Washington 5, the Yankees 1.
Well, Hartford, Connecticut is deep in the middle of Yankee country, and I mean New York Yankee country. Because we've had such a large response from our friends in the Hartford County area, the Yankees have, in conjunction with the Highway Tire Centers, established convenient ticket reservation outlets in each of the 3 branches of Highway Tire Centers in the Hartford area. The easy-to-reach locations are as follows: 58 Maple Street in Wethersfield, 898 Farmington Avenue in Farmington, and 214 Main Street in the middle of downtown Hartford. President Len Cutler of the Highway Tire Centers has promised the same outstanding service to Yankee ticket buyers as his regular customers. So why not make your ticket reservations right in the convenience of Hartford County by stopping by one of the 3 locations? Call Len on the phone at 563-2801 and stay tuned to Yankee Broadcast as we'll be announcing more ticket reservations outlets for all of our Connecticut fans.
Half of the third inning, the Senators leading 5-1. Steve Hamilton, who came on and got the last 2 outs in the second inning, taking his warm-up pitches out on the mound. He'll be facing the bottom half of the order: Casanova, Unser, and Hannan. Senators with 6 hits, Yankees with 4. But the Senators have the lead 5-1. Casanova popped out with the bases loaded in the first inning. Came in batting .292. Bottom of the third, 5-1 Washington. Casanova digging a hole up there at home plate. Now he steps out of the box after doing all that. And he gets back in, puts that right foot where he dug the hole. Right-handed batter. Steve Hamilton in the windup. Left-handed delivers. Line drive to Kenney. Off his glove. Over toward short. Kenney picks it up. Here's the throw to first. Out on one bounce. Oh, what a play. A line drive that hit Kenney in the heel of the glove. Went over toward short. Kenney was like an orangutan. He wasn't going to let Michael get it. He just jumped on that ball, made a throw on one bounce, and Cater got it.
Cater's unbelievable. The way he can come up with those short hops, whether he backhands him or right in front of him.
Della to the batter. He bunts up in the air. Munson under it, and he makes the catch. A high pop bunt is the only way you can describe that. Way up in the air, and there are 2 out. So we have seen 2 weird plays here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and Steve Hamilton will take them because they're both out. And here's Jim Hannan. Hannan hit a wicked line drive his first time up that Roy White caught out in left field. It wasn't a great catch. He just stood in his tracks and came up with it. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on the curveball. No balls and 1 strike. Hannan batting an even 200. Senators leading 5-1. But Hamilton trying to mow him down here. Here's the windup. Steve throws, curve, swing and a miss, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Hamilton into the windup. And the pitch. Hannan takes the curve low, and it's 1-2. 5-1 Washington here in the bottom of the 3rd. Hamilton has pitched to 4 men, and he's gotten them all. Done a great job for the Yankees in the first half of the season. Big Steve kicks, delivers. Curve inside and low, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Hamilton into the windup. Here's the pitch. Ball 3. 3-2 to Hannan. So a full count on the opposing pitcher. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Yankees in the top of the 4th will have Cater, Munson, and Blefary. Here's the windup. And the pitch inside for ball 4. And how do you do? 2 strikes on the pitcher and 2 outs, and you figure you're out of the inning, but 4 balls. That'll bring up the always dangerous Eddie Brinkman. Brinkman has doubled and singled. Doubles at the outfield and a single and infield hit. The Red Sox have opened it up on Cleveland. They lead 4-0 after 5. Hannan's got his jacket on. The temperature in the 80s, but he's got it on nevertheless at first base. Steve Hamilton looking in now to get the sign. Big Steve stretches. Pitch to Brinkman. A little bit low for ball 1, so Steve has missed on 5 in a row now. 1 ball and no strike. He's had fine control so far this year. Plate jumping around just a little bit on him right now. Working rapidly, he delivers. Line drive hit over first, slicing and goes foul. Foul ball, it's 1-1. Hamilton has only walked 13 men in 34 and a third innings. Make that 14 with that walk to Jim Hannan. Struck out 29. One ball and 1 strike to count to Eddie Brinkman. Hannan with a leisurely leadoff first. The pitch, Brinkman takes low, it's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike, so he got the first 2 men on 2 pitches. Then Hannan walked 3-2, and it's 2-1 on Eddie Brinkman. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul ball. That ball was breaking in on the hands. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steve Hamilton, 33 years old. He'll be 34 at the end of November. 6'7", 196 pounds. Player representative of the New York Yankees and of the American League. Here's the pitch. Swing and a little bouncer foul off the end of the bat. Nellie Fox over outside the first base coaching box picks it up. And what a ball player he was. He used to lead the league in hits just about every year. 2-2 the count. Phil, you and Nellie used to have your fun together, I imagine, in those ball games?
Yes, he was a little pepper pot. He was a kind of a miniature Eddie Stanky, I would say.
Knew that was coming. Here's the pitch. Line drive hit the left. Roy White running, and he makes the catch, sliding. Feet went out from under him, and he came up with the ball. The second time in this series Roy White has done that. He's been specializing in it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left at the end of 3. It's the Senators 5 and the Yankees 1. A lot of interesting activity on the scoreboard today. To tell you about it and take you through the next 3, Phil Rizzuto.
All right, Bob Gamere. I'll tell you one thing about Bob. He really enjoyed his visits to the zoo down here. It's even shown in his broadcast. Got a big kick out of the giraffes down there, the orangutans. Now, they do have a beautiful zoo down there, really.
They certainly do. It's about the best going.
See any of Yogi's relatives while you were there? Oh, I was kidding, Yo. We always called Yo baby gorilla and things like that. He can take it. They're holding the bats aloft here at RFK Stadium. Bat day. The Yankees are going to have their second bat day on July 19th. California will be in town. We take a look at the scoreboard. Red Sox leading Cleveland 4-0 and a 4.5. Culp against Dunning. Tony Conigliaro got his 17th of the year in the 5th with 1 on. No other scores to report in the American League. All of the action later on in the National League at the end of an inning and a half. Montreal nothing, and the Mets nothing. Renko against Sadecki. Cubs 2, Phillies nothing and a 1. Short against Holtzman. Cincinnati nothing, Atlanta nothing. Simpson against Nash. Pirates nothing, and the Cardinals nothing at the end of 1. Blass against Torres. San Francisco at Houston, and L.A. at San Diego later on. And here, the Yankees are trailing 5-1 as we go into the top of the 4th inning. And it'll be Danny Cada, Thurman Munson, and Curt Blefary to face Jim Hannan, who has allowed the Yankees just 4 base hits. 2 in the first inning, 2 in the third, but a double play in the 3rd inning got him out of a jam. Kept the Yankees from scoring. Danny Cada bounced hard to third base his first time up. They play Danny straight away. Pitch to Cada, ground ball hit to short. Brinkman short hops it. Fires in plenty of time, and Cada's out of there. 1 pitch, 1 out, and here's Thurman Munson. Thurman trying to check his swing in the 2nd inning, bounced out to 3rd. Yankees started the game with a run in the 1st, but Washington bounced back with 4 in the bottom of the 1st and then 1 in the 2nd. Right-hander Hannan ready. On the outside corner with a breaking pitch, strike 1. Curt Blefary on deck. Hannan winds again. There's a pitch, strike 2, and Munson didn't know whether to swing at that one or not. Started to, held up, and knew it was right down the middle. Looked like he was looking for another breaking pitch. 0-2. And the pounding of the bat starts again. The 2-strike pitch is high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now Munson asks Larry Knapp, the plate umpire, to take a look at the ball. And Larry keeps it in play. And here, those bats pounding. And most of it in the upper deck. Swing and a miss, strike 3, went after a breaking pitch. And that's the first strikeout of the ball game for Jim Hannan. It'll bring up Curt Blefary. Blefary bounced to first base his first time up.
He just touched me with the...
Ball 1. 2 balls and no strikes. And now Blefary asked Knapp to look at the ball, and they're going to throw it out of play. A lot of room down the left field line for Curt. 2 out, nobody on, 5-1. Washington leads. The pitch, he takes it. It's in there. Strike call, 2-1. On deck, Gene Michael. Mel Stottlemyre started for the Yankees, but only go an inning and a third before he was bombed out of there. There's a curve, low ball, 3-1. Hannan winds. A little bit high, ball 4, so Blefary gets a base on balls. The second walk given up by Hannan. And now Gene Michael, who drew a base on balls his first time up. 5-1. So right away, with Michael coming up, the Yankee bullpen's going to get hot again because Hamilton is scheduled to be the next batter. And should Michael get on, Ralph Houck will go for the pinch hitter. This is the spot where he doesn't care how many pitches he uses or who he uses, with 3 big days coming up that are off because of the All-Star break, a foul back. He can work everybody, and they got 3 days to relax, with the exception of Stottlemyre and Peterson, who have been picked to represent the Yankees in the All-Star game, along with Roy White. On deck is Pete Ward now, swinging a couple of bats. Should Michael get on, Blefary leads away. The pitch bounced to second base, right at Bernie Allen. Gets the big hop, easy toss to first in time. For the Yankees, no runs, no hits, no errors, a man left. And now at the end of 3.5, it's Washington 5, the Yankees 1.
Well, as Phil told you, the Yankees will be taking a little rest for the next few days, with the exception of Roy White, Mel Stottlemyre, and Fritz Peterson, who will be going to the All-Star game in Cincinnati. They'll be back in business Thursday afternoon at Yankee Stadium with a doubleheader against the Oakland Athletics. You know, he had a doubleheader, midweek doubleheader in the afternoon earlier this year. Had a big crowd out at the stadium. So we're going to have it again. This one Thursday afternoon. First action after the All-Star break with the Oakland Athletics in. They'll be in for the last time this year. They'll be followed by the California Angels, who will be in for Sunday and Monday, and then the Milwaukee Brewers. So a lot of action at the stadium, whether you like it in the daytime or at night. You can have your choice on the Yankees' next homestand. I was speculating over on television. Stottlemyre had to come out in the second inning. I can never recall Mel coming out that early in a ballgame before.
No, I can't either, and it's just a strange thing that seems to get stranger each time he goes out there to pitch. And Mel will be going to the All-Star game, but he doesn't have to pitch the 3 days off he can really use. Right now, Lee Maye has flied to left and popped to second. In the bottom of the 4th, Washington leading 5-1. Steve Hamilton. His curve bounced to first base. Big hop to Cato, one hands it, steps on the bag, and it's 1 out. And now the big fella, Frank Howard, single to left to drive in a run in the first inning and scored. Walked in the second. Frank Howard now with 66 runs batted in. Speak about bat day, right away you think of Frank Howard. The way he can handle that bat. Hamilton's pitch to Howard. Curve in there, strike call. In New York, Frank Howard was at bat and Steve Hamilton was pitching. And Steve gave him the folly floater, and Frank Howard got himself a base hit. He fouled the first folly floater deep in the left field seats. And then on the next one, he grounded a base hit between third and short. Right now, a 1-1 count. Pitch by Steve, a curve outside, 2-1. It would be a big thrill for this crowd, but of course the Yankees are trailing 5-1 right now. They're still very much in this ball game. Curve foul back out of play on the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck, Rick Reichardt. Steve gets the sign from Thurman Munson. There's the volley. No, that was the hesitation homer, as Frank Messer calls it. Kenney up with it and fires him out at first base. And I don't believe Frank Howard has seen that one yet, Frank.
I don't think so either.
He crossed me up on it. He gave the delayed step, then zipped it in.
He uses the same footwork with both pitches. And on the hesitation hummer, he gives it a very slow motion, stops completely, and then fires it as hard as he can. Here's the floater, Phil.
Reichardt dropped the bat. He dropped the bat on the ground. He wanted to take a bite out of that baseball. It was a little high ball one, and now the crowd is starting to react. At Yankee Stadium, the Yankee fans know just about when it might be coming. There's a foul back and out of play, and it's 1-1. So we might see it again. Just might. It's 2 outs, and nobody on. A 1-1 count on Reichardt. Senators leading 5-1. Now the crowd is buzzing. They would love to see it again. We'll see if Hamilton will give it. He winds. Nope. Foul off the mask of Larry Knapp. Drove him back about 4 or 5 feet. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. A lot of hitters will not swing like Tony Conigliaro until he has 2 strikes on him. Then he's got to protect the plate on the foul floater. Hamilton, well, here it is. Oh, here it is. Reichardt runs up, lines a base hit to center field. And I want to tell you, he ran so far up, he might have been out of the batter's box when he hit that. And listen to the crowd. They eat it up.
I know up in Cleveland, it looked like Tony Horton ran up about 2 steps out of the batter's box when he got a base hit off.
Yep. All right, here is Bernie Allen now. Throw to first base, and Reichardt is back. Hamilton cannot throw this pitch with a runner on. The umpires claim they will call a balk immediately with that hesitation step. Sidearm curve is low, ball 1. Allen has singled a drive and a run and scored a run and bounced to second base.
Hamilton appealed to the league office to make an illegal pitch with runners on. At first they said they would, then they said no, they couldn't.
All right. Swing and a miss at a curve. 1-1. So Rick Reichardt now is 2 for 2. And he was also hit with a pitch ball. And for a while it looked like he wouldn't be able to continue in the first inning when he was hit. There goes the runner. Munson's throw is there. Oh, what a throw. And he was off balance and threw a strike to Gene Michael. 2-6. No runs, a base hit, no errors, nobody left. And at the end of 4 full innings, it's Washington 5, the Yankees 1. Well, Wolf's, the leading sporting goods dealer for the Poughkeepsie area, is now your flagship for Yankee tickets in the Hudson Valley area. Bob Foster will be more than happy to help you make your ticket reservations for each and every Yankee game from the convenience of Wolf's, located at 387 Mill Street in Clinton Square in downtown Poughkeepsie. You'll be receiving the same quality of service that you've come to expect from Wolf's when you order your Yankee tickets. Now, Wolf's is open Tuesday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And don't forget Thursday late shopping night. Wolf's stays open until 9. So when you're in downtown Poughkeepsie, make your Yankee ticket reservations for every exciting game from now until the end of the season. Or if you want, you can call Wolf's at 471-3720.
Jim Lytle will bat for Steve Hamilton. And the activity in the Yankee bullpen, Ron Klimkowski. So Klimkowski will be coming on to pitch with Lytle up there to bat for Hamilton.
All right, Jimmy Lytle will be coming on. And Lytle has only been to bat twice officially without a base hit. He has scored 1 run. He has walked twice, struck out once. All right, so Jimmy Lytle, who had an exceptionally fine spring for the Yankees. What a job he did, hitting and playing the outfield. Left-hand hitter, Hannan's pitch, lined up, base hit to right field, and Jimmy Lytle, boy, he waited on that first pitch and drilled a single to right. And I tell you something, after the All-Star break, we might see some changes for the Yankees. We might start playing some of these young ball players. Jimmy Lytle got a curved ball right around the letters and drilled a single to right field, his first hit of the year. And now, Horace Clarke, double to right and single to left center. Frank Howard holds the bag against Jimmy Lytle. Hannan's pitch on the inside corner, strike ball. In St. Louis, Steve Blass, the pitch break pitcher, was hit on the right arm just below the elbow. He was examined by Doc London, the Cardinal physician, was sent to the Jewish hospital for further examination. There's a pop-up that Eddie Brinkman, the shortstop, is under right and back a second and makes the play, 1 out. Well, those pitchers are very, very close, as we've told you, to the hitters. Just 60 feet, 6 inches when they start, and when they follow through, only about 55 feet. Here's Jerry Kenney. Jerry hit to the box and bounced into a double play. 5-1, Washington leading. Lytle leads. Kenney takes the curve over, strike one called. Jerry and Larry Knapp have not seen eye to eye on any pitches today, and this is the third time that Kenney's been up that he stepped out of the batter's box, kind of lifts his head up to the heavens. Doesn't speak very loudly because he's still in the game. At least Knapp hasn't heard him. Quick throw to first base, but Lytle is back.
Detroit breaks on top of Baltimore 1-0 at the end of 1 on a home run by Mickey Stanley.
That's good news. Kenney bounces one off the plate, and Frank Howard grabs it one-handed and just beats Kenney to the bag. Had that ball hung up there a fraction of a second longer, Jerry would have beat it out. He bounced one off home plate high in the air. Lytle moves to second base, and with 2 out, here's Bobby Murcer, who's 2 for 2 today. Single right to drive in a run in the first, single to center in the third. Bobby broke out of his long dry spell last night. Got himself a base hit, and here he's 2 for 2. So put Bobby in a better frame of mind for the long second half drive for the Yankees after the All-Star break. Mercer asks for time. And he wants the umpire at second base, Marty Springstead, to move over a bit. He does now. 5-1, Washington leads. Top of the fifth. Lytle leads off second. The pitch to Mercer. Bouncing ball. Howard has it at first base. Races to the bag. Mercer is out of there. Oh, the Yankee threat goes by the boards. No runs are hit. No errors a man left. And at the end of 4 1/2, it's Washington 5 and the Yankees 1.
The Arco Circle. It's on the north slope of Alaska, 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. Finding oil there is hard. Getting it out of the ground is almost impossible. The men of Atlantic Richfield do the impossible. They work 12 hours a day in 45-degree below zero temperatures. They go through $10 worth of gloves a week and a $30 pair of boots a month. They work in the dark most of the year, and they work hard. Why do they come here to drill for oil? Well, the pay's good, the food's good, and besides, nobody ever did it before. Atlantic Richfield went all the way to Alaska to provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
Ron Klimkowski comes on to pitch for the Yankees. He is just now going to the pitcher's mound after the ride in from the Yankee bullpen. Give us time to tell you that Bill Freehan has homered for Detroit off Dave McNally in the second inning with nobody on, and now Detroit leads Baltimore at least 2 0, and the Tigers are still batting in the second. Well, Bill Rizzuto was at the New York Mets old-timers game last night, And you got another one coming up on August 8th at Yankee Stadium, Phil, the Yankees Old Timers Day.
Oh, boy, that's the Yankees were the ones who really started Old Timers Day, and I don't blame the other clubs for catching on quickly because it's a wonderful day. I mean, not only do you fill the ballpark, but the nostalgia. Oh, bringing back some of these greats. You know, some of the old timers are a little embarrassed because when they come into the park and they're introduced to some of the young kids playing now in the big leagues, kids say Travis who, like Travis Jackson. They never heard of him. Larry who, Larry French. I mean, it's amazing. Bob who, Bob Stenner. These old timers, the kids just don't realize. And as a matter of fact, some of them weren't born when they were playing. And as the steamboat comes around the bend, we pause for station identification.
This is Shannon in the Morning, coming your way Monday through Saturday, 5:30 to 10, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
Ron Klimkowski with a record of 1-3 and an earned run average of 3.18 takes over on the mound for the Yankees, and here's Phil.
All right, and Bernie Allen takes the first pitch, high, ball one. Allen is singled and bounced to second base. He was at bat when Rick Reichardt was thrown out trying to steal to end the bottom of the fourth. Klimkowski's next pitch is high, ball 2-0.
Steve Hamilton went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, walked 1, was not scored upon.
All right, another fine job by Big Ham. Klimkowski's 2-0 pitch is in there. Strike call, 2-1. Sun shining brightly here in the nation's capital. High fly to right field. Blefary is right there, though, pounding the glove and makes the catch. 1 away. That brings up Rodriguez, who was walked intentionally his first time up and bounced to third base in the second inning. Aurelio Rodriguez. On deck, Paul Casanova. Klimkowski's pitch is a little bit low, ball 1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Senators lead it 5-1. All the scoring done in the first 2 innings. Swing and a miss at a sidearm curve, 1-1. Mel Stottlemyre was charged with all 5 runs as he went just an inning and a third. The 1-1 pitch, check swing ground ball is going to be a tough play. Kenney will have to hurry his throw in time. And Jerry made a tough play look very, very easy. That was a fine play. Not only did he have to charge real quickly, but he got the ball on a short hop. 2 out. Paul Casanova, he popped to first in the first inning, and then he hit a shot in the third inning, almost knocked Jerry Kenney down as it bounced off Jerry's glove towards shortstop. Kenney was on it like a flash and threw to first, and Cater made a great pickup, and they both robbed Casanova of a base hit. The first pitch is in there, strike call. Casanova, right-hand batter, right down the end of the bat. Klimkowski's slow curve hit deep to left field. And White going back, and it's out of here, a home run on a change-up curveball. And I want to tell you, Casanova had already taken his step, and all he could do was hit it flat-footed. He had to supply all the power, and he did. And when you throw a change-up curve, you do not want to get it up in a hitter's eyes, is what Klimkowski did. And Casanova really surprised me with the power he put on that one, hitting it flat-foot. His 4th home run of the year. And it puts the Senators out in front 6-1. That'll bring up Dellance, a single to left in the first to drive in 2 runs and trying to beat out a bunt fouled out to Munson. High, ball 1. Klimkowski's fastball is in there. Strike called, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Bouncer hit to second base. Clarke comes in, gets the nice hop, throws to first in time. But the Senators pick up the big run on the homer by Casanova. Nobody left. And at the end of 5 full innings now, it's Washington 6, the Yankees 1.
You ever notice that the people at Atlantic never refer to gas stations? Not that there's anything wrong with the term, but Atlantic people prefer to talk about their service stations. If you think about it, modern Atlantic stations are among the last places you still can find old-fashioned service. And that's important because there's so much more to driving than just gasoline. While you're filling up, they'll really mother hen you. They'll clean your windshield, check your oil, your battery, and your radiator. And if you need them, they'll replace taillights, tires, plugs, or air filters with parts you can trust. But most important is the way this service is offered, speedily and courteously. So that's why they always say that Atlantic has service stations, not gas stations.
You'll see the Yankees will be Thursday afternoon, July 16th, in a doubleheader at 1 o'clock against the Oakland Athletics. That Oakland series, the doubleheader on Thursday, then a night game Friday the 17th and an afternoon game next Saturday the 18th. Then the California Angels start a series with a doubleheader next Sunday, which will be Bat Day number 2, a night game Monday, a week from tomorrow, and then the Milwaukee Brewers come in for a night game and a day game. So whether you like your baseball at night or in the afternoon, you have your choice during the Yankees' next home stand, just about equally divided between day and night action. And speaking of action, Roy White will try to start some right now for the Yankees, and here's Phil.
All right, Frank. Resender and Brown are loosening up in the Senator bullpen as Roy White takes the ball. Roy flied to center and hit a little looping fly ball in shallow left center that the shortstop made a good play on. There's a fastball, fair ball over the bag. That'll be extra bases down in the right field corner. And Roy White is in a second base with a stand-up double. Had the score been a little closer, Roy, I'm sure, would have been able to make third. But trailing by 5 runs here in the top of the 6th, he stopped. And that's one of the best balls that Roy has hit in quite some time, as he bounced one right over the bag, almost like the one Jerry Kenney had hit a little earlier. But this one, John Rice called fair. And so Roy White picks up his 23rd double of the year and his 105th base hit. And it brings up Danny Cate. He's bounced to third and bounced to short. 6-1. Washington leads in the top of the 6th. Thurman Munson on deck. Hannan's pitch popped up in the right field. Almost in his tracks is Lee Maye. Moves in now, makes the catch. White tags, he's going. Here's the throw. And what a decoy Aurelio Rodriguez put on. He gave him the dummy play, kept his hands down at his side, and the throw was right there. White didn't slide, but he did beat the throw. Good play. We've seen G. Michael pull that play many times and get a runner who will relax when he sees that the infield is not ready to catch the ball. Suddenly he reaches out and grabs it, and you're very embarrassed when you haven't slid. All right, it's 1 out. White is at third, and now Thurman Munson, who bounced to third and struck out. Mike Kekich now gets up in the Yankee bullpen as Hannan winds. His pitch is a curve, low, ball 1. Jack Aker getting up now in the Yankee bullpen also. Curve is low, ball 2. We told you the old Yankee team, with the exception of Roy White, Mel Stottlemyre, and Fritz Peterson, will get 3 days off for the All-Star break. The 2-0 delivery. Low ball 3. 3-0. A lot of the ball players will be doing things, but what I meant was that they will not have to work out. They can rest from playing ball. The 3-0 delivery. Takes it right in there. 3-1.
Steve Hamilton was saying he and his wife and the kids are going up in the Catskills, but surely his wife will have to take her catcher's mitt along, because Steve said he can't go 3 days without throwing, and Shirley warms him up.
No kid.
Oh, yeah.
Pitch outside, ball 4. I don't know whether I'd want anybody to know about that. My wife can catch me and hold me. Means you're not throwing very hard.
Steve used to do that during the winter when he had nobody to play catch with.
Yeah.
He bought Shirley a catcher's mitt, and she learned how to use it.
Well, I remember the Monty Stratton story. I believe, yes, Jimmy Stewart played Monty Stratton, and June Allison played his wife, and she used to catch him. She did a pretty good job. All right, Curt Blefary now stepping in with Yankee runners at first and third, 1 out, and Washington leading 6-1. Pitch to Blefary, popped up. The shortstop Brinkman is there. The umpire will call, he's out. It's hard to say he'd call the infield fly rule, but the runners are at first and third. So Blefary, trying to go for the downs, pops out to Brinkman in shallow center, 2 out. And now Gene Michael, who has walked and bounced to second. Two men out, so should Michael get on, we will have another pinch hitter. Thurman Munson at first, Roy White at third. Yankees had a chance to pick up at least one there with a long fly or a ground ball, but couldn't do it. Michael takes a strike. Pankowski is on the on-deck circle, but he will not bat if Michael gets on. 1 strike on Gene. Stretch by Hannan. Pitch is low this time, 1-1. They play Gene Michael straight away, and Reichardt plays him fairly shallow in left field, moves in a couple more steps now. And Michael goes that way with a pop-up, but the shortstop Brinkman is over there and makes the catch in fair territory in shallow left field. So the Yankees, no runs, a hit, no errors, 2 men left. And at the end of 5 1/2, it's Washington 6 and the Yankees 1.
When you're having more than one.
That's Carl Hall. He's another Schaefer Talent Hunt winner with some smooth sounds about Schaefer beer.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Schaefer pleasure doesn't fade even when your thirst is done. The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
All right, so Klimkowski will stay in for another inning and then be taken out for a pinch hitter. And the top of the 7th, he'll be the first batter next inning. Right now, he'll be pitching to the opposing pitcher, Jim Hannan, who has lined to left and walked. 6-1. The Senators lead. The Senators have 8 hits, 6 runs. The Yankees 6 hits and 1 run. Washington bunched 4 of their hits in the first inning, along with a hit batsman, an intentional walk, and an error to pick up 4 runs. All right, Jim Hannan ready. Klimkowski gets the sign. Swing and a miss, strike one.
Roy White.
Klimkowski's pitch is low. 1-1. One ball, one strike. The windup and the pitch on the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. Hannan steps out of the batter's box. On deck, Eddie Brinkman. Klimkowski winds. Curve swing and a miss, strike 3. So Klimkowski picks up his first strikeout of the game. And it's the first strikeout against the Senators in this ball game. And here's Brinkman, who doubled a left center, scored in the first, singled a deep short, and scored in the second, and then was robbed of a base hit on a fine diving sliding play by Roy White in the third. Brinkman enjoying his second successive fine year for the Senators since Ted Williams became manager. He is well over 280 right now with 2 for 3 today. Takes a strike. Next pitch, checks his swing. Whoop! Larry Knapp put his hand up and scratched his eye, and it's 1-1. Boy, that was quick reflexes. He started to go up with the right hand, and suddenly reached in his mask and rubbed his eye, and everybody looking at him. The 1-1 pitch, a curve inside 2-1. Lee Maye on deck. Six to 1, Washington leads in the bottom of the 6th. Klimkowski's pitch bounced off the plate. This is going to be a tough one. And he picks it up, throws, safe at first. Oh, man. Johnny Rice that time didn't know whether to bring the hand up, and he ended up on 1 foot. Looked like a bird dog pointing that time. But he called him safe. Klimkowski was ready to pick it up. He heard Kenney yell and stop. Jerry had to pick it up barehanded and throw just behind Klimkowski, and Brinkman has his 3rd hit of the day. Now Lee Maye flied to left, popped to second, bounced to first. Brinkman leads away with 1 out. The stretch and the pitch low, ball 1. Quick throw to first, but Brinkman is back. The stretch and the pitch hit hard but foul outside of first, rolling down the right field line. That ball was hit. Danny Cater didn't have a chance to go after it, but it was foul. 1-1 the count. Left hand hitting Lee Maye. Bat on his shoulder. Klimkowski's pitch fouled and going out of play over the Yankee dugout, back into the crowd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Senators lead 6-1, bottom of the 6th. Throw to first, and Brinkman is back. By the way, Eddie Brinkman now with 101 base hits on the year. And in this game with 98. Fly to deep right center. Won't be far enough to be over there. Murcer calling for it. Bobby under it and makes the catch. Fires it in, and Brinkman, who was all the way down to second, comes back to first. So it's 2 out. And now big Frank Howard. Singled in a run in the first inning, scored in the first. Walked in the second and bounced the third and the fourth. Brinkman at first, 2 out now. 6-1 Senators out in front. The pitch to Howard. Strike one call. 24 home runs and 66 runs batted in for the big man. 2 out. Brinkman a short lead at first. Pitch a little bit high, 1-1. Real good crowd here today, and as a result, in the upper deck in center field and left center, you can't see the seats that are painted white where Frank Howard has hit some of his tremendous home runs. Soft toss to first. Brinkman is back. Now the stretch. And the pitch. Popped up. Thurman Munson calling for it. Now Kenney calling for it. They collide. Both fall down, and Munson holds on to the ball. They were both yelling, but with the crowd yelling, they couldn't hear each other. And they collided, and both went down to the ground, but Munson held on to the ball. No runs are hit, no errors, a man left. At the end of 6, it's Washington 6, the Yankees 1. And now Frank with all the scores and to carry you the rest of the way.
All right, Phil, here we go. At the end of 7 1/2 in the first game of a doubleheader at Cleveland, it is Boston 6, Cleveland 2. Tony Canigliaro has homered for Boston, his 17th. Duke Sims, number 13, and Tony Horton, number 11 for Cleveland. Colt pitching for Boston all the way. Higgins now on in the 8th inning for Cleveland. Detroit 2, Baltimore nothing in the second inning on home runs by Mickey Stanley and Bill Freehan. The Tigers are still batting. It's McNally against Mullich. That's the first of a doubleheader. Chicago 2, Kansas City nothing at the end of 2 1/2. Tommy John against Dick Drago. Milwaukee at Oakland a later start. The New York Mets 1, Montreal nothing, end of 5. Renko against Sadecki. Cubs 2, Phillies nothing at the end of 1 1/2. Short against Holtzman. Atlanta 3, Cincinnati 2 at the end of 3 1/2. Wayne Simpson for Cincinnati and Jim Nash for Atlanta. At the end of 3, St. Louis 2, Pittsburgh 1. Glass started for Pittsburgh, had to leave when he was hit on the arm. Orlando Pena came on in relief. Torres and Carlton in the third for St. Louis. Cardinals leading 2-1. San Francisco nothing. Houston batting in the first. Gaylord Perry pitching for San Francisco. Griffin for Houston. And Los Angeles at San Diego will be a later start. So that brings you up to date on the other games. In this ball game, through 6 innings, the Senators show 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Yankees 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. And Pete Ward now will bat for Ron Klimkowski. Pete Ward is hitting 184. As a pinch hitter, he has been up 26 times with 4 base hits. Strike is called to him, fastball knee high. Senators leading 6-1. Hannan kicks and deals. Ward sends a bouncer down the first baseline. Frank Howard is up with it, flips to Hannan covering in time, and Ward is out. Howard to Hannan. 1 away in the top of the order. Horace Clarke has doubled and singled and popped up to the shortstop, 2 for 3. He has scored the Yankees' only run. Led off the first inning with a double to right field. And went to third base as Kenney grounded out and scored on Mercer's single to right. Jerry Kenney moves out on deck. The windup by Hannan, the pitch. Low and inside to Clarke. Ball 1. Jack Aker and Mike Kekich are throwing in the Yankee bullpen. The next pitch here, high. 2 balls, no strikes to Horace Clarke. Ted Williams keeps a little action going in his bullpen. Left-hander George Brunette and right-hander Joe Coleman. Clarke takes and a strike is called. It's 2-1. Bat day here in Washington. A lot of youngsters on hand. Bat day next Sunday in New York at Yankee Stadium. 2-1 pitch. Clarke sends a ground ball right side. Bernie Allen to his left, gloves it. Throws to Howard in time in a close play. And Clarke is out. Clarke was digging hard. Bernie Allen had to go well over to his left. Fielded the ball back at the edge of the grass. And threw to Howard just in time. 2 down, and Jerry Kenney moves in. Kenney has grounded out 3 times. To the shortstop, to the second baseman, and to the first baseman. When he grounded to the second baseman, Allen, it was a double play. The pitch to him. He hits a ground ball up the middle, and Allen cannot get it. It's a base hit. Bernie Allen went well to his right that time, but could not come up with a ground ball, so Kenney has the Yankees' 7th hit of the ball game. Yankees have had base runners in every inning, at least one base runner in every inning. Batter will be Bobby Murcer, 2 for 3. He is single to right and single to center. Howard not holding on Kenney at first base, and the pitch to Murcer, fouled back. It will be out of play. Well, Detroit came up with 4 runs in the bottom half of the second inning, and the Tigers lead the Orioles 4-0. In a battle of left-handers, Mickey Lolich and Dave McNally. Stretch by Hannan, the pitch. Murcer takes high and outside. A ball and a strike to Bobby Murcer. Roy White is on deck. Jerry Kenney at first with 1 out. The pitch. High again, ball 2. Well, Joe Coleman is no longer throwing in the Senators' bullpen. They get another right-hander up. And it is Casey Cox. Pitch is high and away for Murcer, ball 3, 3-1. So Casey Cox throwing along with the left-hander George Brunette. Both Aker and Kekich have completed their warm-up activity in the Yankee bullpen. Right now, the stretch by Hannan, the look to first for Kenney, the pitch to Murcer, strike call, the count is full, 3-2. So with 2 outs and a 3-2 count on Murcer, Kenney will be going. Hannan looks down to Casanova. There goes Kenney. Here's the pitch. High fly ball out into right field. Lee Maye started back, now comes in a couple of steps. He's under it, makes the catch, and the side is retired. For the Yankees in the 7th, no runs, a base hit. There were no errors, and a man is left on. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, the score is Washington 6 and New York 1.
July 18th. Dear Gabby, my love life has, to say the least, fallen off lately. Homer would rather watch baseball than look at me. I've tried everything to get his attention. I even slide into the living room, but I still strike out. Oh, Gabby, what should I do? Signed, can't get to first base.
Dear Base, here's the pitch. First of all, stop that silly sliding. Then try slipping some standard baseball phrases into your conversation, like chuck it in there, baby, and going, gone. And buy Homer some Utica Club beer. It's the only beer made with love, and you don't have to be an expert to know the best way to get a man to fall out of love with baseball is to get him to fall for Utica Club. If that doesn't work, wait for the football season and try a forward pass.
New pitcher for the Yankees in the bottom half of the 7th inning. First it was Mel Stottlemyre, then Steve Hamilton, Ron Klimkowski, now Jack Aker. It's 6-1 Washington leading, and Aker comes on for his 25th appearance. He has a record of 2-1. He has saved 12. His earned run average is 2.75. He has pitched 42 in the 3rd innings. He's given up 37 hits, 13 walks, and 20 strikeouts. So Jack Aker comes on the pitch as we get set for the bottom half of the 7th inning. Right now in Yankee baseball, let's take a break for station identification.
This is your guy, High Agents. Join me for your kind of music, weekdays, 3 to 7, here on the fresh air sound of Radio 81, WGY Schenectady.
All right, here we are with Aker. Lemkowski went 2 innings, gave up 1 run on the homer to Casanova, 2 base hits, and struck out 1. He did not walk anybody. The other 5 Washington runs charged to the Yankee starter Mel Stottlemyre, who lasted only 1 1/3 innings. Rick Reichardt hit by the pitch and 2 singles, so he's 2 for 2. He's batted in a run and scored a run. Right-hand hitter. Jack Aker bends down, has the sign from Munson. The windup and the pitch. Foul back, strike 1. Yankees won 1 of 3 games over in Baltimore, and Aker got the last out before the rains came, and he was credited with a save, his 12th of the year. Here's the pitch, and it is foul back again, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes on Rick Reichardt. Over 13,000 bats were distributed here at the Robert F. Kennedy Stadium today. We don't have the attendance count as yet, however. 0-2 pitch. Change-up is foul back. Aker pulled the string on a breaking pitch. Had Reichardt way out in front of him. Bernie Allen is on deck. Aker has the sign, kicks and delivers. Sidearm curve that is swung on and missed, strike 3. So Aker strikes out the first man he faces. That is the second strikeout by Yankee pitching today. The batter will be Bernie Allen. He's 1 for 3. Allen knocked in a run in the first inning when the Senators scored 4. And the pitch to him, right across with a fastball, strike 1. More bullpen activity for the Yankees. The windup, the pitch here. It's solidly to right field, base hit. Bernie Allen comes up with his second hit of the ball game, and that is number 10 for Washington. And Tim Cullen will run for Bernie Allen at first base. Cullen running for Allen undoubtedly will stay in the game to play second. Leo Rodriguez, the third baseman, 0 for 2. Drew an intentional walk in the first inning. Since then, he has grounded out twice to third baseman Jerry Kenney. Paul Casanova on deck. Mike Kekich throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Fritz Peterson was up to throw, but now he's back down. Strike 1 is called, belt high, on the inside corner to Leo Rodriguez. Set by Aker, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Joe Coleman was up again in the Washington bullpen along with George Brunette. They're playing musical chairs out there. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Cater holding the corner on Cullen at first base. The set by Aker, and here's the pitch. Loops foul outside of first. Cater gives it a run, but has no play as the ball goes 1 row deep in the stands. Washington out in front, 6-1. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Aker is ready to work. 0-2 pitch. Slow pitch inside. Aker again pulled the string. It missed inside on Rodriguez. Senators have had the Indian sign on the Yankees this year. And strike 3 is called to Leo Rodriguez. Aker grazed the inside corner with that one and gets his second strikeout of the inning. Senators have won 7 and lost 5 to New York. 7 wins against New York, the most for the Senators against any club in the league. Paul Casanova, the batter. He's 1 for 3. His one hit was a home run in the 5th inning off Klimkowski. He fouls the first one back, strike 1. Cullen at first, 2 outs. Aker off the stretch. There goes Cullen. The pitch is popped up foul outside of first. Cater is after it, should have a play, and one hands it near the dugout to retire the side. No runs, a base hit. There were no errors, and a man is left. So now at the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is Washington 6 and New York 1.
Very little is known about drilling for oil in the Arctic. When Atlantic Richfield discovered oil on Alaska's North Slope, the place we call the Arco Circle, we found out just how little. We found out about 45 degree below zero temperatures and 70-mile-an-hour winds. We found out about frozen ground 1,500 feet thick. We found out steel drills can shatter like glass. We found out roads have to be 8 feet thick. We found out it takes 60 plane loads to set up one rig. We found out it takes 7 times longer to drill and costs $20,000 a day. But we found the first major oil field on American soil in 40 years. At Atlantic Richfield, we went all the way to Alaska so we can provide your local Atlantic dealer with the finest Arco petroleum products for your car.
Tim Cullen has gone in to play second base for the Washington Senators, and Jim Hannan keeps right on going on the mound, looking for his first complete game of the season. Right-hander from Jersey City, New Jersey, has nailed the Yankees so far. Although they've had 7 hits, they've only been able to get 1 run. But the Senators have had the gloves popping in the bullpen all afternoon. Let's see what happens in the top half of the 8th inning.
Roy White will lead it off. He had a double to right field his last time up. White is 1 for 3. Slide to center, lined out to the shortstop Eddie Brinkman, and then double to right. Final score from Cleveland. Boston has defeated the Cleveland Indians 6-2. Ray Culp gets the win, and Steve Dunning is the loser. Dunning won his first major league start, and since then he has lost his next 4 decisions. He's 1-4. First pitch to Roy White. Foul back on the third base side, strike 1. Senators 6 runs, 10 hits. The Yankees 1 run on 7 hits. The pitch to White. Fly ball, well hit to left center field. Racing for it is Reichardt, also Unser. Reichardt is there, and Reichardt makes the catch. Reichardt almost stumbled just before he made the catch. Whether he caught his cleats or hit a soft spot out there in the outfield, we don't know. But he stayed with it and pulled it in deep left center. So White is retired, 1 down. It will bring up Danny Cater, 0 for 3. Grounded out to third, grounded out to short, and flied to right field. Wind up by Hannan in the pitch. Strike 1 is called. Cater needs 1 base hit for his 100th of the year. He would dearly love to get it in this game. The wind up by Hannan, the pitch to him. Low and away, 1-1. The wind-up pitch coming, fouled it back on the screen. Detroit is pouring it on Baltimore, 7-0 now at the end of 3 innings. Mickey Stanley, Bill Freehan, and Al Kaline have all homered in that ball game. They knocked McNally out in the 3rd inning with Jim Harden coming on to pitch for Baltimore. Wind up the 1-2 delivery. Cater lines it, and it is in the right field base hit. So Cater gets his 100th hit. We had to hold up because Frank Howard was going back on the ball, and as tall as Howard is, with a great stretch, we thought he might have had a play on it, but it was just over his glove. So Cater has a single, and the Yankees had their 8th hit of the ball game. It brings up Thurman Munson. Thurman is grounded out to third, struck out, and walked. Paws the dirt in the batter's box with his right foot. Now set, and here's the pitch to him. Solidly hit and off the glove of the third baseman Rodriguez. He picks it up, throws to second for one, back to first, a double play. A line drive knocked down by Rodriguez. Right at his feet, he grabbed it, threw to Cullen at second, and Cullen back to Frank Howard for the double play. The Senators have their second double play of the ball game, and the Yankees are out in the 8th. No runs, a hit, no errors, none left. And at the end of the top half of the 8th inning, the score is Washington 6 and New York 1.
Say, did you ever have a girl you know show up in a week and not recognize her? Well, here's a story just like that. Some people have received new credit cards and failed to recognize them. Now, this is understandable. The big name on the card, and incidentally, it is a handsome card, but the big name is ARCO, A-R-C-O. They didn't realize that this new ARCO card was a replacement for their old Atlantic credit card. After Richfield and Atlantic merged to become the Atlantic Richfield Company, it made sense to have one national credit card good at thousands of service stations from coast to coast. Makes it easy for everyone, including the people at Hertz, Ramada and Treadway Inns, Hyatt House Motels, Hyatt Lodges, Travel Lodge Motels, Friendship Inns, Emmons Walker Inns Incorporated, and Superior Motels. They all honor this new card. Now they have only one name to remember, and so do you, ARCO. It stands for all the good products and services you get at your Atlantic station.
All right, Bob Gamere. Del Unser will be up to lead things off for Washington. That ball Munson hit for the double play was a real bullet, short-hopped in front of Rodriguez and off his glove, but right at his feet, and he made the play. And Munson won't hit a ball any harder. Here is Del Unser, 1 for 3. Takes a pitch inside at the knees, ball 1. Senators lead 6-1. The windup by Jack Aker. He deals. Bouncing ball is hit toward first. 2-hop by Cater. He steps on the bag, and that's all for Unser. 1 out, and the pitcher, Jim Hannan, will be up. Listen to the hand he gets. He's pitched a fine ball game. The Yankees have hit some shots off of it, and they have 8 hits. But 2 double plays have helped him out.
The attendance is 30,155. 3-0.
The attendance just announced the first pitch to Hannan. Strike 1 on the inside corner. 30,155. The attendance. 0-1 pitch. Line drive, base hit out into right center field. Bobby Murcer over to his left comes up with the ball on the ground, and Hannan has a base hit. Number 11 for the Senators. The second hit off Jack Aker. And with 1 out, a runner at first, Ed Brinkman moves in. Hannan gets the windbreaker on down at first. Nellie Fox helping him with it. Brinkman is 3 for 4. 2 singles and a double. He's scored twice. Takes low, ball 1. Brinkman's double and Casanova's home run, the only extra base hits in the ball game for the Senators. And the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. A ball and a strike to Ed Brinkman. Washington leading 6-1, bottom half of the 8th inning. Aker ready to work and delivers. There's a line drive base hit into left field. Hannan stops at second as White wings it back in. Jack Aker has been delivering today a slow pitch, off-speed delivery, and that is what Brinkman just drilled into left. Runners at first and second, and Lee Maye the batter. Maye is 0 for 4. The pitch to him here. On the outside corner, a strike one call. Senators now have 12 hits in the ballgame. Aker ready to work again. Looks back to second. Delivers. Maye sends a bouncing ball down toward first. It's now foul. And fielded by Nellie Fox, the coach. Lindy McDaniel and Gary Wozlewski are up and throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Pitch to Maye. Strike three call. Maye is going to argue with the call with plate umpire Larry Knapp. Drops his bat across home plate. And Maye slowly walks back now to the dugout as Aker picks up his third strikeout. The batter will be Frank Howard. Senators have Horacio Pena, a right-hander, throwing in their bullpen. Howard is 1 for 3. The pitch to him, low and away, ball one. Howard has had one hit in each of the 3 games, a home run Friday night to win it, a single last night, and a single today. Pitch to him. Line drive, base hit into right center. Hannan swings around third, heading for home. The throw is in toward shortstop Gene Michael, who cuts it off, and the Senators lead 7-1. On the play, Brinkman went to third. So Howard has knocked in his second run of the afternoon. He has his second base hit, and for Hondo, 67 runs batted in for the year. At first and third, 2 outs. The batter will be Rick Reichardt. Reichardt is 2 for 3. Stottlemyre hit him in the arm in the first inning with a pitch. Then he's had singles his next 2 times up and struck out as the first man to face Jack Aker in the 7th inning. Reichardt sends a bouncing ball to short. Gene Michael is up with it. Fires to Clarke at second. They force Frank Howard, and the side is retired. But the Senators come up with 1 run on 3 hits. There were no Yankee errors, 2 men left. And at the end of 8, it is Washington 7 and New York 1.
It's tough to argue over a Utica club. 'Cause they put too much love into it.
Why do people argue? Not because one person steps on another's toe, or because you say something one way and someone else takes it another way. People argue from a lack of love. So, in our own small way, we try to make up for that lack by putting love into our beer. How? If the grain we want isn't in Kansas, we'll get it somewhere else. That's love. If the domestic hops aren't up to snuff, we'll import them. That's love. Anything we have to do to get Utica Club the way we want it, we'll do. That's love. And no one argues over love.
Well, last chance for the Yankees as we get set for the top half of the ninth inning. They trail by a score of 7-1. And Jim Hannan will be trying for his first complete game of the season as he goes out there. But Ted Williams, of course, well knows the All-Star break is here. And if Hannan gets in any trouble at all, Williams will probably go to the bullpen just as Ralph Houck has been going to the bullpen today for the Yankees. Tom Grieve has moved out in the outfield. He'll be the right fielder for the Washington Senators here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. So they have two defensive changes, one last inning. Tim Cullen at second base, and one now as he gets set for the ninth inning, Tom Grieve in right field. Hannan a little bit late coming out of the dugout after racing around the bases and scoring the seventh run of the afternoon. Right-hander throwing in his warm-ups, and he'll be facing the bottom of the Yankee batting order. Curt Blefary, Gene Michael, and then a pinch hitter for the pitcher. Yankees have tried a couple of pinch hitters today. Jim Lytle came through with a base hit, and Pete Ward is grounded out. Yankees getting their run in the first inning, a double by Clarke, a single by Murcer. But the Senators jumped on Mel Stottlemyre for 4 runs in the first inning, 1 run in the second, and then they've added a couple on a Casanova home run in the fifth off Tomkowski and a run in the eighth off Jack Aker. It's 7-1 as we play the ninth inning.
Curt Blefary will lead it off, to be followed by Gene Michael. And let's see, nothing later on the Baltimore-Detroit game. Kansas City leads Chicago 3-2. They're in the fifth inning. Boston defeated Cleveland 6-2 in their first game. Detroit 7, Baltimore nothing. They're playing the fourth at Detroit. Cubs lead the Phillies 3-1 in the sixth inning at Chicago. Waiting for Blefary to get set and Hannan to pitch to him. Atlanta 3 and Cincinnati 2. They're playing in the fourth. That's at the end of 4 now. The windup and the pitch to Blefary. High, ball 1. Montreal and the Mets are tied 1-1 in the seventh. And it looks like Pittsburgh leads St. Louis 3-2 at the end of 4. Blefary swings on a pitch and fouls one back over the press box. And the count is even at 1-1 to Curt Blefary. Curt is grounded out to first, walked and popped up. Hannan winds, kicks and deals. Blefary check swing foul into the stands behind the third base dugout. Crowd today puts the Senators over the 500,000 mark in attendance, 519,000 plus for the year. 1-2 pitch to Blefary. It's low and he checks his swing in time, 2-2. Hannan turns it loose. Fastball is fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is only the 6th start of the year for Jim Hannan. He has yet to pitch a complete game, but now he appears to be strong here in the ninth. He winds, fires to Blefary, and there's a line drive out toward right center. It's going to be in for a base hit. Fielded on one bounce by Unser, the center fielder, and Blefary leads off the ninth with a single. Last time, Blefary led off an inning with a base hit. It was the 8th inning last night. The Yankees went on to score 3 runs and won the ball game 3-1. Nine hits for New York. Gene Michael steps in, bluffs a bunt, takes a pitch low, ball 1. Ron Hansen is on deck now to bat for Jack Aker. Blefary leads off first. And the pitch. Strike called to Michael, 1-1. Gene has walked, grounded out to second, and popped up to the shortstop, Brinkman. Senators lead 7-1. Pitch coming. Michael swings, lifts a fly ball into shallow center. Unser is there. Glasses down, glove up, makes the catch. And there's one away. And now Ron Hansen will bat. for pitcher Jack Aker. Hanson started last night at shortstop, had a couple of base hits. He's batting .241 for the year. As a pinch hitter, he is 2 for 16. Yankee pinch hitters are at .235 for the season. The pitch. Check swing, but a strike is called by the plate umpire, Larry Knapp. He did not stop the swing in time. No balls and a strike. Horace Clarke on deck, Blefary at first with one out. Jim Hannan looks down to Paul Casanova. In the stretch and the pitch. There's a solid shot deep to left field. This one is going. It is gone. A home run for Hanson. Blefary trots home in front of Ron Hanson. And for Ron Hanson, his second home run of the year. And for the Yankees, their third pinch hit home run of the year. The other pinch hit home runs have been delivered by Pete Ward and Curt Blefary. So now it's a 7-3 ball game, Bob Gamere.
Boy, Hanson's really been banging that ball for the Yankees in this road trip. He's had a base hit just about every time up.
Horace Clarke, after the first pitch, drills it into right, base hit. Solid single for the Hoss, his third hit of the ball game. And that will bring the pitching coach, Sid Hudson, out of the dugout.
Well, out in the bullpen, they had both Knowles and Casey Cox. Knowles, the left-hander, and Casey Cox, the right-hander. Jerry Kenney is scheduled to bat next. So it'll be Darrell Knowles, the left-hander, coming in. Hanson's home run, his other one was into the opposite field in Cleveland back on May the 24th. This one he pulled and pulled well, and he has been banging that baseball for the Yankees. Veteran, 32 years old. Certainly come around. He's been a great find for the Yankees. They got him for cash prior to the start of the season from the Chicago White Sox. So Jim Hannan loses out in his bid to pitch a complete game, but he's still very much the pitcher of record. He can't possibly lose the game, and he could very well be the winner. He leads after 8 in the third innings. He gave up 3 runs on 11 hits. And the runner on first base, Horace Clarke, is his responsibility. Jim Hannan walked only 2 Yankees and struck out 1, so he hasn't been overpowering by any means, but nonetheless a fine ball game for Jim Hannan and the Washington Senators up to this point. It's 7-3 with 1 out. Blefary single is started. Michael popped out to center, a little fly ball. Hanson homered. Horace Clarke a single. Jerry Kenney scheduled to bat next as Darrell Knowles comes on to pitch.
This is Darrell Knowles' 41st appearance of the year. He has a record of 1 win and 7 losses. There's the hand for Jim Hannan. And they're standing up for Hannan over on the first base side of the stands as he walks off the field with pitching coach Sid Hudson. Darrell Knowles with a record of 1 and 7, but that is not the story of Darrell Knowles. The story is the number of saves he has. He has saved 18 ball games for the Washington Senators. The Senators have won 39 on the year. So give Knowles 1 win and 18 saves. He has been in on 19 of the 39 victories. He's a left-hander, has the second lowest earned run average in the American League. He's ready to take on Jerry Kenney. Knowles has been in 6 games this year against the Yankees. The Senators have won all 6 games in which he has appeared. He has 5 saves against New York. Pitch to Kenney is outside, ball 1. The only game that he has not saved was the 18-inning ball game. He delivers again. Kenney pops it foul out of play behind the third base dugout. Darrell Knowles with an earned run average of 1.82 is second only to Ron Peronowski, who has a 1.64 to lead the American League pitchers. 1-1 pitch to Kenney. High and tight, and Kenney goes down. 2 balls and 1 strike. Horace Clarke at first, 1 out. Senators leading 7-3. Knowles off the stretch. Delivers. Kenney swings and loops another foul out of play into the stands behind third. Well, one of the lady fans down there was reaching up trying to catch that one. He had a pretty good stretch, too. Kenney steps away, time called by Larry Knapp. Knowles toes in. Delivers. High and tight again to Kenney. Jerry backs away, and the count is full, 3-2. Senators leading 7-3. The set by Knowles, the 3-2 pitch, foul back, and just in front of the booth to our right. You can hear the kids banging those bats on the metal stands here in D.C. Stadium. 3-2 pitch again. Popped up foul, and again back in the crowd. One section of these stands is movable to convert this to the football field. 3-2 pitch again. Kenney bounces it foul to the right side of the plate. And the kids, when they bang those bats on that metal movable stand, make quite a racket. Have those bats worn out before they get home with them. 3-2 pitch again to Kenney. On the way, he fouls it back just over the press box. Here in the 9th inning, Blefary singled to lead it off. Michael flied out to the center fielder. Then Hansen pinch hit a home run. Throw to first base, and Clarke and Howard are all tangled up over there, and Howard steps on Clarke, and the throw gets away from Howard. Clarke is all right. May have been spiked on his left instep. I don't know. I think in the mix-up, maybe the ball hit Clarke on the leg is what it was. He and Howard were in a great big tangle over there at first. Howard trying to sneak in behind him. Now the pitch to Kenney, and he fouls another one back. Howard had been playing well behind the runner, protecting the line. But he tried to sneak in behind Clarke, and they got all twisted up over there just as Knowles threw over, and the ball hit Clarke, but bounced back. Swing and a miss by Kenney as he went for an outside pitch, strike 3. On Yankee baseball, we pause for station identification.
This is Harry Downey bringing the Upside Downey game your way weekdays 10 to 3 here on the Fresh Air Sound of Radio 81 WGY Schenectady.
Jerry Kenney strikes out. There are 2 down, and now it's up to Bobby Murcer. He gets a sidearm pitch that's high, ball 1. Roy White is on deck. Murcer wants second base umpire. Marty Springstead to move, and he does. Knowles kicks and deals. Murcer hits it off the end of the bat down the third base line. It's foul, just foul. Rodriguez had no chance of getting to it. And it was foul by just inches as it passed the bag.
Almost hit the bag. It just missed that last bounce. It curved, sliced away, and just missed hitting the bag. The Yankees have just missed getting that tying run to the plate. Kenney went for a bad pitch after fouling off 7. He went fishing for an outside pitch, and then Murcer just missed hitting the base.
1-1 here to Murcer. He takes it wide. Ball 2, 2-1. Darrell Knowles is a very quick worker. He's ready to pitch again and does. Murcer hits a ground ball to second. Tim Cullen has it. Throws to Howard. The ball game is over. And the Senators win it 7-3. For the Yankees in the ninth, 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors and a man left on. Bob Gamere will have the totals in the recap in a moment. The final score, Washington 7 and the New York Yankees 3.
It's tough to argue over a Utica club. 'Cause they put too much love into it.
If you're an angry, argumentative person and want to become a friendly, loving person, come to our brewery in Utica, New York. There we will give you a free tour and show you how we put love into our Utica Club beer. A friendly tour guide will show you how we lovingly age our beer for months instead of for weeks like most brewers do, so that our beer will have real bubbles instead of artificial bubbles. He'll show you how we love our ingredients so much that unlike most brewers, we actually list them on our label. And after that, he'll take you to our 1888 tavern and give you some free Utica Club beer. So by the time you leave, you will no longer be angry and argumentative. You will be a lovely person.
Well, the Senators take the series to the New York Yankees, 2-1. Final score, 7-3 Washington. 7 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. And for the Yankees, 3 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. Jim Hannan, the winning pitcher, is 4-3. Mel Stottlemyre, the loser, is 8-8. And the save by Darrell Knowles is 19th of the season. And so the first half of the season ends for the Yankees, with the Yankees in 3rd place in the American League. Once again, the final score, the Senators 7 and the Yankees 3. And now this is Bob Gamere speaking for Frank Messer and Phil Rizzuto, thanking our broadcast statistician and coordinator, Bill Kane, producer Bob Stenner, director and engineer Sandy Alper. This is Bob Gamere saying goodbye from Robert F. Kennedy Stadium in Washington. Today's Yankees...
Yankee baseball game has been brought to you by Atlantic Richfield Company and your local Atlantic dealer. Drive in where you see the Red Ball sign. Red Ball service is your Atlantic dealer's way of assuring you good service every time you come in. And by